Hello everyone, hello Polkadot community. We have LunarCrush here, we have Mr. Joe here, so we are good to go. Yeah, so welcome everyone back to our AMA. And I'm Anna from Polkadot Insider, and today we are so happy to have LunarCrush and also Mr. Joe on the space. And so we all know LunarCrush, a leading cryptocurrency analytics platform that provides real-time insights and social metrics for crypto assets. And a lot of more about LunarCrush. If you want to find out, stay to the end. And in case you first know about us, Polkadot Insider, so we are a channel updating news, data analytics, real-time data, and research about projects to support retail investors' views when they want to invest in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. All right, going through with me in this AMA today, I'm so honored to have Mr. Joe from LunarCrush on the space, who's going to share with us what is so amazing about LunarCrush, and also what are we supposed to catch up with LunarCrush in the upcoming time. Yeah, so excited already. So let's get started, everyone. So to kick off the atmosphere, so sir, can you introduce a little bit about yourself, your journey with LunarCrush, and also what LunarCrush is about in brief?
Sure. And hi, Anna. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me all right? I got my AirPods have been a little shaky lately.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here this morning. LunarCrush. So we are an analytics and an analytics platform focused on cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and stocks. And so what we do is we aggregate all the world's social media data that's crypto, NFT, and stock specific. So we're looking out on social media platforms like Twitter and Reddit and YouTube and all the news. And very shortly here, we're adding more social media networks like TikTok and Instagram. And we're looking for the financial data that's out there and kind of uniting financial markets and the social media markets. Because, when we started, back in 2015 is kind of when I found Bitcoin with my co-founder, John, our chief product officer. And, we were talking through the market and, we were looking at Bitcoin for a couple of years, and it was, Ethereum came out in 2016, 2017. And, we kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, how are people going to understand, what the fundamentals are for investing in these crypto assets, when they're, if for a layer one blockchain, you might have just like a foundation, you don't have earnings reports, you don't have 10Ks, there's no gap accounting, right? It's all, there's a lot more that's reliant on sentiment. And this was kind of long before, the Wall Street bets movement and everything else that happened out there, where people did start to realize like, wow, retail could have a pretty significant effect on the markets. And, how do you gauge that? How do you understand which communities are growing, which communities are shrinking? It's a lot of it is influencer driven. And so we looked at all of that, and, it just very early on, like any startup, you have a thesis, you have an idea. And then, do you have the wherewithal to go take the leap and go test that out in the market and build that? And so that's what we did. And so that's what we've been working on here for the last 5 years now, which is crazy to say. It's been a half of a decade of operating and building in the Web3 and the crypto space.
Wow, that's such a really nice kickoff. Thank you, sir. And we are down to hear more about LunarCrush. Yeah. So we all know that users can use LunarCrush to track out the KOLs, the influencers of their favorite blockchain. So can you explain more about the algorithm of your platform so that the projects can do with and to get a chance to be promoted in LunarCrush?
For sure. Yeah, it's pretty simple actually. And I'm just looking at the Polkadot influencers right now. We've got, I'm just looking at the 1 week time frame. And so this is done, based on like time series and time frame. So, who the top influencers are for one day is going to be different than 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and a year. It's kind of, can you stay consistent over those time periods, and have you created value and engagement in those time periods? And so I'm just looking at the 1 week right now, and we've got We've got Mr. Barry Crypto. We've got at CryptoGems555. I think this is at Crypto Throw number 3. At 100x altcoin gems. At your crypto DJ is like the top 5 in the last week. And what that means is that in the last week, these 5 people have posted about Polkadot. So it's really simple. It's like you're utilizing like a hashtag or cash tag for the project that you're interested in, if you're talking about that project, and you're also getting a lot of engagement and real engagement on the post that you're making. And so what we're doing is we're looking at spam, and we're identifying what that looks like, and that gets pulled out of the equation. If you're out there tagging 25 different people and 25 different like hashtags, like it's pretty simple for us to go and use machine learning to recognize what spam is and then kind of pull that out. There's a lot of like consistency aspects to it as well. So if you're out there posting consistently, and it's similar to like what a Twitter algorithm is going to do, where they're looking for consistency, and then they're looking for like quality of content. So we're not looking so much as like, hey, did you post a video or did you post an image? Like we let the platforms kind of identify their own engagement, but we're kind of gauging the engagement from each of those platforms and then identifying what's getting the most interactions and who has the most interactions. And so, if you're out there just consistently posting about Polkadot and you're getting a lot of interactions, and those interactions are organic interactions, you're going to rank pretty well. It's not a perfect science, obviously. Sometimes it's like a cat and mouse game. There's constantly, I'm sure a lot of people on this space as well over the last month have gotten tagged 1,000 times by verified accounts that people have bought and are now trying to like scam and spam. Like those are things we try to stay ahead of as well, and we try to pull out of the equation, but we do a really nice job of pulling that out. So I'd say if you're trying to rank for any sort of project that's out there, just post a lot about that project, interact with the people that are in this kind of top 10 list. Once you get interactions from these people as well, your engagements are going to start to go up, and you're going to start to rank higher on these lists. And then these lists, it's when we started this, it was just a fun thing for us because there were other projects out there. I think Cointelegraph did like a top 100 crypto influencers, and they did it every year. When we looked in the fine print of that, it said, how did they identify who the top 100 influencers in the crypto space were? And it was like, they basically said, like, we asked our staff, of like 12 people or whatever it was. And so we thought, well, that's probably not the best, the best way to really gauge like who's the most influential and who's making an impact on the industry. So for us, we put together this kind of algorithmic way to look at every single cryptocurrency that's out there. And now we look at every single cryptocurrency, all of the NFTs on Ethereum. And then we also look at the entire stock market, and we understand in real time, every single second, who the top influencers are, and that changes in real time.
Well, that's such a good news. Yeah, it's so interesting to get to know more about how this concept works, and so a lot of strategies from you guys to optimize it, and that's really amazing. Yeah. So for the next question, there are the metrics that are measured on LunarCrush, such as medium YouTube and a medium volume. So how can LunarCrush measure these data, and do these metrics affect the ranking of a project?
Yes. Long story short is any single metric that we get from any of the different sources that we have go into all of the metrics that you see. So if you're looking at popular dot metrics on LunarCrush, and you're going to look at social mentions, social engagements, social dominance, social contributors. Social mentions is actually, it's just like unique, like the total number of mentions of Polkadot over that time period. And so you're kind of looking at, like, if I say like Polkadot 25 times, that's going to be that's going to be 25 different social mentions, right? And then all the virality that happens around those mentions. So how many like replies, retweets, if we're looking at Instagram, you're looking at likes or replies. If we're looking at YouTube, we're looking at replies to these videos. All of that kind of gets folded together to look at social engagements. And that's kind of like, hey, how viral did this thing go, right? Like if someone has one social mention and that goes completely viral, you're going to have a lot of social engagement. So that's kind of looking at that piece of it. And then social contributors is just the unique number of individuals. So if I say Polkadot 25 times, that just counts as one. That's one unique individual. So we kind of layered these different metrics on top of each other to kind of give people a gauge of, where is the baseline of this? And then these are 3 different ways that people are looking at, how, like what the strength of the community for something like a Polkadot. And then social dominance is really cool. It's kind of like market cap, but for social. So how much, what is your kind of share of the market when it comes to your social presence and social mentions? And so it's pretty cool when your social dominance goes up relative to the rest of the market. You know that even in potentially like a bear market where all prices are going down, if your social dominance is going up over time, it's a pretty strong indication that your community is growing relative to the rest of the market, which is pretty cool. And then we have got a couple more kind of proprietary metrics that we've created. Galaxy score, in the vein of LunarCrush and starting, Galaxy score and alt rank. And Galaxy score is pretty cool. What it does is it's looking at price performance versus the market, your social performance, versus everyone else, and then like all the different volume that's out there. Excuse me. And the social impact. And then what it's doing is it correlates those 3 things all together. And then if those 3 things, like all of your social is moving together with your price performance and your price score, then your Galaxy score is going to be really high. So it's really looking at a project's performance against itself over time, and is it trending up or down? And so a really high Galaxy score is good. And then alt rank, which is probably my favorite metric that we have on LunarCrush, and I sort my markets table by alt rank, is looking at, basically we're ranking the entire market against each other in those same metrics that I was just mentioning. So all the social performance, the price performance, and all the market volume and everything together. And so like right now, we've got like a Pepe as number 1, which is, it's probably, its price is probably up, the social is probably up. Then you've got like Aptos, number 2, Chainlink, which is on a nice little run at number 3 there. And so it's a different view of the market when trying to understand like what the social performance is like, but also looking at price performance. And so we're just trying to do some of the work for you, so that when you're at a glance looking at the market, you're getting a little bit different view than just like, hey, I'm just staring at market cap again.
Oh, that's really insightful and helpful. Yeah. A lot to measure, but we can see that LunarCrush is doing a great job in managing all of them and upgrading at the same time, and which is really fantastic. Yeah. So we're kind of curious is that every type of user can have a journey with LunarCrush, or do you guys have a target of users, and also your plan to attract more of them?
Well, a lot of our users are just retail investors. They're just people out there that got interested in crypto or NFTs, or they hold stocks, and they're looking for an edge. They're looking for a different way to kind of ingest the market. I'd say that a lot of our users are probably, if you're the person that, when the market starts to run a little bit, is getting like the DMs from all your friends kind of wondering like, hey, what's going on in the market? Like the people that are getting those DMs are usually like our customers. They're people that are a little bit more in tune with the markets. They've got, potentially they hold some Bitcoin. They probably hold, a nice portfolio of like 5 to 15 more cryptocurrencies. Maybe they own a couple of NFTs. And so that's kind of like our core user. That's kind of what we, as a first mover advantage, and being the first company that was out there doing this back in 2017, 2018, we're kind of on the forefront of that. And so as we've started to expand, we've added, like I said, we've added equities. And so we're kind of building that business out as well. And, when we first started, I would say it wasn't as apparent that social had such an impact on the equities markets. So, what happened with Wall Street bets, really was a nice tailwind for us, where it's kind of people were pushing and saying, okay, where do I go find these analytics? How do I understand what's going on? And most of what's on LunarCrush is free. We do have like advanced insights, and to get those, all you have to do is connect your wallet and hold at least 2,000 Lunar token. And so we have trading right on LunarCrush.com as well. So you can go to our trade module. Once you sign up, grab 2,000 Lunar. Once we update the blockchain and we see the 2,000 Lunar in your wallet, bam, you have access to advanced insights. And so that's like a smaller niche, but even more advanced kind of trader that's out there that's looking for us to kind of what we're doing is we're actually teasing out a lot of the anomalies we see in our data. So for example, if there is a big change in the chain link social volume, like we're going to pull that right out and send you a notification of it, versus you kind of pecking and hunting to find it. So that's like our biggest user base. I mean, it's just retail investors coming in here, signing up for LunarCrush. You can either basically sign up with your email address, standard Web 2, or you can just connect your wallet, Web 3. So we've got, any kind of different way that people want to get in here and how they want to interact with us, they can. They can check out their portfolio. So when you connect your wallet, you can see all the different assets in your portfolio. We're adding NFTs to that right now, which will be fun. So yeah, a lot of different ways that people can interact.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, do you guys have any further plan to attract more users, of these items?
I mean, that's the game. I mean, you're always, for us, it's all been organic growth. Whether or not you're building kind of viral components into the product that you have. We have like something that's really fun is, every single link that you share out from LunarCrush is actually like a referral link. And it's a unique link and it's mapped back to you. And so we're building some fun stuff that potentially could, drive more users back that way. I mean, that's just like at this point, that's just table stakes with the ability to build out a product that grows organically. We do if you want to follow, we got the LunarCrush handle up here on speaker, follow the LunarCrush handle. The team is basically scouring the site every single second. They're on this trending tab at the top here where, we've got like trending crypto activity, NFT activity. You can mix and match stuff. And what we're doing is we're constantly looking for interesting, fun news and different things that are happening in the space in real time. And so we're sharing that out. I mean, we've grown that account from 0 to a couple 100,000, almost 300,000 followers, all organically. We've never really paid for anything. So for us, it's all just organic growth and, doing fun spaces like this. We've got a 225,000 person email list that goes out. We send news and different updates out a couple times a week. The team does a great job of finding like the best and most interesting news and trying to summarize that quickly for everyone. And then we have maybe even later today or tomorrow, we've got a brand new tool that we're releasing, and it's called Social Search. And so what you're actually going to be able to do is search any keyword, and those keywords. So right now, you search Bitcoin on our site, you drop onto like the Bitcoin coin detail page, or you search the Polkadot. If you search Polkadot, you search DOT, you're going to land on that coin detail page. What you're going to be able to do shortly here in the future is actually search any keyword. So you can search, if you want to search Bitcoin ETF, or if you want to go crazy with it and search surfing or pizza in Brooklyn, you're actually going to be able to pull any sort of keyword. So it's going to be, it's really exciting for us to kind of grow and expand and let people really kind of manipulate the coolest part of what we do, which is kind of searching all of social media.
Yeah, really got your point here. Like in this ever-changing industry, like we have to constantly move and upgrade, and especially when analytics is getting more and more necessary. And also the brand new tool, the social search is about to release, so gotta stay tuned, everyone. So for next question, we want to know how can LunarCrush affect positively to each blockchain, and do you have any plans on helping blockchains to reach out more on the market?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been evangelizing since we started. I mean, my co-founder John and I mean, we've done, like starting back a couple years ago. I mean, we did over 100 episodes of LunarCrush live, which was, I think, one of the only shows that was actually like live within crypto, and we, we basically interviewed almost like everyone you can imagine, like in the space. And what we were trying to do is really, because part of our mission is to provide transparency in the market, because we wanted to see the ethos of what we knew what Web3 was, and self-custody and taking control of your money, and not keeping your money in the banks, which could go under at any single moment, or different depending on where you live in the world. You're subject to large fluctuations of inflation. So for us, the ethos and the reading the Bitcoin white paper was like why we wanted to build something in this space and why we love this space. And so for us, we did, like I said, 100 episodes of this, trying to really deep dive into all these different layer ones, all the different projects that were coming out. If you check out like our YouTube channel, I think it's just YouTube/C/LunarCrush. You'll see these. We interviewed Charles Hoskinson. We interviewed Sandeep from Polygon. I think when he was still like in a small office, somewhere, and it wasn't this massive big thing. And so we've done a lot of these deep dives because for us, it's like you're saying, we're trying to positively affect like the industry and create the transparency. I mean, we even did back in the day, we did these interviews, with like a Terra Luna, and like we were trying to kind of pull out like the why behind some of these things, and never got paid for those things. Those were just like, for us, it was just, hey, how do we give something back to the community so that people can really understand what's going on with these? And early in the early days, people didn't want to dox themselves, and people didn't want to for them to know who they were, and so that was a big red flag for us. And so we said, hey, if people will come talk to us, and they'll put their face on camera and they'll talk about what they're building, then we're going to go and we're going to start posting about that. We'll let them use our platform to get out there. So I mean, obviously it was helpful for us to drive people back to our community, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like we were getting paid for those things. It was us really being interested in trying to dive deep into what was real and what wasn't for our customers.
Well, we really appreciate all of the efforts that LunarCrush has been made for the user experience so far, and that's all very amazing. Yeah. So a bit about the upcoming steps. So beside the brand new tool Social Search that I just mentioned, is there any good news in any aspects of LunarCrush that can we expect from? Yeah, just reveal a little bit of it. It's okay. Yeah.
I mean, the social search is the biggest piece, the biggest thing that we're delivering here on short order. But what you're going to probably see from us is it's going to be a constant focus on the core business, which is cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and stocks. But what we're also doing is kind of increasing the surface area where people can visit LunarCrush. So you'll probably see us start to look at and rank other categories as well. We're talking about things like elections, and how would you really understand between different candidates who is growing from a social perspective and who isn't. There's this kind of traditional outdated polling that happens, and the polling could ask maybe 1,000 people, but it's not over the entire landscape that is social media. So that's something we're taking a look at. We're looking at even potentially ranking sports, which different teams are people talking about and how they're talking about them. So there's a lot of different categories that we're looking at, and the goal behind this is, hey, can we attract people that might not have a cryptocurrency wallet, and could they come to LunarCrush, and then we could delicately get them into the Web3 experience of maybe they sign up with their email and they're really interested in sports, but then oh, hey, what is this portfolio thing, and what's a MetaMask wallet, or how do I connect to this site with a Web3 wallet and own my data. And so for us, it's a nice way to kind of bring in some non-Web3 users with like non-Web3 products, but also have this nice kind of way for them to get into our industry.
Yeah, and that's all really worth expecting for all of us. Yeah. So good luck in your next journey, and we'll definitely wait for it. Yeah. So for the last question, it can be easy or hard to you. Yeah, it depends. Yeah. So if you have to say 3 words, it may be noun or adjectives, anything to express your pride in LunarCrush. So what would they be, sir?
3 words that express my pride.
Or it can be sentences if it's easier for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know if there's any. It's like obviously I'm super proud of like our team, and what we've been able to accomplish. With a small team in this space. Over the last 2 years. There's a lot of my friends that have run these different businesses that are worth potentially like a lot, and now like are down to zero. And they're like, hey man, do you just like want the code? Like we're out of business. And I'm very proud that we've been able to focus on the business in the right way, and be responsible, and build the right way in this industry, because I feel like a lot of people in this industry, as a new industry, we're not kind of shepherding the right way of doing business and focus. And so for us, that's what I'm just proud of, like my team, and the focus and what we've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years, and still being here and still building for everyone. So a lot more than 3 words, but that's my thought.
That's fine, sir. Yeah, that's lovely enough. Yeah, that's lovely enough, believe me. Yeah, and that's team, and all of the efforts, all of the vision that LunarCrush have been building and gonna keep building further. And all of us are really expect from all of the next move from LunarCrush. And yeah, it's a good luck in your next journey. Yeah. So it's all about the questions today, everyone. We have been through a lot of good information about LunarCrush. What are they doing? What is so unique about them? And some of the upcoming steps that we have to stay up with LunarCrush. Yeah. So before we say goodbye, sir, do you have any words left for the listeners today before we say goodbye?
Just to thank you for everyone. You're still here. You're still part of this industry. You're still focused on the future. Hopefully you're out there, whether you're building your own project in Web3, or you're thinking about joining another project in Web3. I say more power to you, and go find that and build your dreams.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, I love it so much, and I bet the listeners do as well. Yeah, and thank you again, Mr. Joe and also LunarCrush. We really appreciate your time here and all those great sharings. And yeah, also the audience who stayed with us till this time, really, really appreciate that. And if you have any questions, you can DM Polkadot Setter, and we're gonna have it connected to the speaker and get it back the answer to you as soon as possible. Yeah, and if you want to play the recording again, do not hesitate to do it. It's always on our Twitter page. Yeah, and I think it's time for us to say goodbye. And goodbye, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, goodbye, sir. Thank you a lot.